Hello everyone, welcome to GingerGear. My name is GingerBeard, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create basic movement with the platform movement object in Clickteam Fusion 2.5. This is part 2 of another video I have done where I showed how to get the object and did a quick overview on it. But in this video, we'll be showing how to create. Now, what we need to do is get two objects. We're going to need an active, and we're going to need our platform movement object. So I'm going to type it in and grab it. Now we're going to leave all this default. And we're going to go and close that. And let's get one more active object. There. So one's going to be our player and one's going to be our walls/floor. So let's rename this one to player. And let's rename the other one to wall/floor. Okay, now we can go in and change the art to each of these. We're just going to make our player a green block. And we need to do one important thing. And that's to go to the hotspot, this little eyeball right here. And we make sure this thing is at the bottom of the feed. So what we're going to do is just hit this little quick move right here, so little button, and click the bottom one, middle. There you go. Now, let's go to our wall and floor. And let's change this one to black. And we don't have to do anything with the hotspot. We can keep that one the same. We don't have to do anything special to this one. Now, since we got our player and our walls, now we need to go on and start creating our level. Okay, now we have our stage to test all of our platform movement. I'm going to go on and put the player at the middle of the stage. And I'm going to go on and run the application. And you can see though, our player's not falling, he ain't moving, he's just stuck there. That's because now we gotta program all the movement in. And to do that, we're gonna go to the event editor. So we're gonna come over here to the event editor. Now the first thing we need to do is go on and make a group of events. Now, you don't have to make a group of events. Or group events, because it's just mainly more for organizing and stuff like that. At least that's the way I use it for. So it ain't a must, but you can if you want to. So I'm gonna name this start a frame, and I'm gonna have one more group of events, and this one's gonna be movement. Now, in our start a frame group, we're going to go on and add a new condition. And what we're going to want to do is go to our storyboard controls and add a start a frame condition. And we're going to go to our platform movement object, and we're going to click on set object. And now we need to pick what object we want to set. So it'll be our player. Now I bet you're wondering, why do we set our, or why do we go to the platform movement object and set object to player? Well, the reason why we did that is because we're telling the platform movement object to add all those values it has at that window when we first place the platform movement object, to add them, to make them apply to the player. So now he'll have like gravity, jump strength, and movement speed. Okay, so I can go on and show you by running the application. So you can see he fell, but he did not hit the ground. He's just going to keep going. And that's because we have not set any kind of collision yet. So to do this, all we need to do is add a new condition. We need to go to our platform movement object, and we're going to go for collision testing and test for obstacle overlap. Alright, now that's not all though. We need one more condition. So we need to right click and hit insert, and we need to check for when the player hits the ground. So we're going to click on the player and collision overlapping another object, and we're going to click on wall/floor. Okay, now we're going to go on and stop our player, because once we hit the ground, we want them to stop. So we're going to go to our platform movement object, and we're going to collisions, object does overlap with an obstacle. Click on that. Now if we run the application, you can see our player hits the ground. But we can't move or nothing, so we need to fix that. But there's one thing to note, that you must always have the test for obstacle overlap always above your collision. So our player is overlapping the wall, we need to always have the test for obstacle overlap above it. And you also need this too for it to work. Without this test for obstacle overlap, it's not going to work. So always be sure to have this when testing for when a player is overlapping something or collisioning with something. Okay, now we can go on and start our movement. So let's start by doing our left and right keys. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new condition under our movement group events. We're going to go to mouse and keyboard, and we want repeat while key is being pressed, and this one's going to be D, and our next one is going to be the same thing, but it's going to be A. So keyboard, repeat while key is pressed, A. Okay, now since we have our left and right key, now we can go on and add the action for the moving. So to do this, we're going to go to our platform movement object, and on our D, we're going to right click and go to on user input, and user is holding left input key. And for the A, we want to come down and do the same thing, but we want to on user input, user is holding right input key. There we go. So now if we go on and run the application, you can see we fell. We can move. Oh, something's not right here. Whoops, I got them backwards. Okay, we want D to be right, and we want A to be left. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. Okay. So A is left and D is right. Okay, now if we run the application, we can see we can go left and right, but I want to jump, but we're not able to do that yet. So let's go on and program that. To do that, we're going to go and add another condition, and we want to go to mouse and keyboard, and we want to go to keyboard, and upon pressing a key, it'll be spacebar. Now we need to add our action. So we're going to go over here to our platform movement object, and we want to right click, on user input, jump. So now if we run the application, you can see we move left, right, and jump. But there's one thing. If I keep jumping, I'm going to go into the air, and I can practically keep jumping to stay in the air. To fix that, we're going to need a alterable value. So let's go to our frame editor, and let's click on our player, and let's go to the properties tab, and we're going to go to the AZ tab, and we're going to go to alterable value and hit new. We just need one, so we're going to go on and name it, and I'm going to name it jump. And let's go on and set it to 1. Now let's go back to the event editor. And let's set a second condition in our palm pressing spacebar. We're going to right click, hit insert. Let's go to our player, alterable value, compare, and let's leave it at jump. And we want to make sure it's greater than 0. So if our value is greater than 0, we want to keep being able to jump. Alright? But it's still going to happen. When we go on and run the application, it's still going to let us jump infinitely because we're not subtracting our jump. So what we need to do is, in the same condition where you jump, we need to go to our player and alterable values, subtract, and we want to subtract 1 from jump. So now if we run the application, we can move left, right, and we can jump. But we may not be able to jump infinitely, but now we can only jump once. And that's because when our player hits the ground, it's not refreshing its jumps. So to do this, we need to add another condition. And so we go to new condition, and we need to go to our platform movement object, object status, or object stats, and we want to go to object is standing on ground. But what we need to do, though, before we kind of go any further, we need to put this event, the object is standing on the ground, above the action of when we press jump, because that will cause some weird effects, like some kind of weird double jump. So always make sure the object is standing on ground is always above the jump button. So now, since we got our object is standing on the ground, we want to refresh the jumps. So to do this, we're going to go to our player. We want to go to alterable values, set, and set jumps to 1. Now if we run the application, you can see we can move left and right, we can jump, and we can jump now. Every time we land on the ground, we can keep jumping. And we can collide against the walls, and we can collide with the floor. And there you have it. Basic movement with Clickteam Fusion 2.5 using the platform movement object. If you found this video useful, be sure to leave a like. And if you need any help, be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you like our content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to keep notified. And we will see you later. Goodbye.